Welcome to Harvard's Focus on Community. Our city administrator is in the studio today to discuss the year-end state of the city, if you will, some municipality items, and just to give our viewers an overall view of what has taken place for our city. So we were going to start talking about the infrastructure that has been happening throughout the year here.
Yeah, some of the things that we worked on with Arpa funding. The Arpa funding was the federal funding that came down to assist local communities, and we got $800,000 in July of this year. And some of the things that we're doing with that is some of the improvements to City Hall. People have spent a lot of money on this building, and in 2014 and 15, they spent even more money on renovating the building. The building's over 100 years old, but again, renovated a lot of the building, made it ADA compliant in a lot of aspects. And what we did, though, this year was to kind of complete some of the projects that never got done in 14 and 15. And so some more security issues in which during our screening for active shooter training, which unfortunately we have to do in government, we found some weaknesses in how secure we were here. And so we put in some new bulletproof glass windows over openings that were window openings, so to speak, to the counters. We also put in some new locks into some of the doors that were not previously locked, so someone could just walk right in at any time. We also did some improvements to what is called the election room. Some people who have been around long enough know it as the children's library, when the library used to be upstairs. We're doing a major renovation to that to actually make it into a usable room. Right now it's just storage. And it had two bathrooms that basically were leaking on the police department. They didn't think that was funny at all. And so we're putting in two brand new ADA compliant bathrooms, a kitchenette, and then much more storage, kind of guarded off storage area for the elections. And for a couple of our departments that use storage in that area. So, and plus the end room will be a wide open room that other groups and organizations can use, including the American Legion. American Legion currently is in Sugar Hall, next to the police department, but they've outgrown that, and which is great. It means they have a lot of active members. And so they're going to move up there, and we're excited to have them up there. It's our continued commitment to our veterans to provide them a place to call home. And so again, one of the many improvements that we've made. Also, we've redone the back stepway and ramp, which was causing some trip hazards. Again, ADA non-compliant. And so we redid that whole thing, and that'll be open in the next couple weeks. So a lot of improvements to City Hall. Another one of the big improvements that we've had is the council chambers that we're in right now. The council chambers has been brought up to the 21st century versus the 19th century. A lot of our council members were asked, can't we get more availability for video so that we can see plans when they're being presented and things like that, and different numbers to show when we're making major decisions. And so we updated that. This room also added HD cameras. That's why I look so thin now, because of the new cameras. But anyways, and all the new equipment in our control room. All of this outside in this room, along with all the other improvements to City Hall, were all done without tax dollars. They were all done with Arpa funding. So we were very happy about that. Didn't cost our local taxpayers anything at all. Besides that, other infrastructure projects that we've been working on, we just did East Lincoln Avenue reconstruction. That's a major project. When we talk about road reconstruction, we're talking about having the underground all dug up, the water main, the sewer main replaced, and then the laterals that go to the individual houses. And then also we have then the road being redone, the curb, the gutter, sidewalks many times. So a lot of work that gets done, and it takes about 4 or 5 months to get it completely done. So East Lincoln Avenue was completed this summer. We're very happy about that. And next year we'll have 2 more roads that'll be totally reconstructed.
Excellent. I just want to step back to the voter room, if you will.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that open for the public to rent? Or
Yeah, it will
okay,
be,
so
yeah.
how would they get a hold of, how would our viewers get a hold of someone?
Yeah,
Say,
absolutely.
I'd like to look at the space and,
Yeah, contact the clerk's department.
okay,
And they will be able to get you that information if they'd like to rent the room for different events. It's primarily meant to be for community groups, community organization
Right.
groups, like the American Legion, which we talked about. But overall, I mean, it's going to be a large enough room to fit about 150 people seated. So, again, if whatever the community group, maybe it's a Boy Scout group, a Girl Scout group, whatever it is that needs a new home,
okay,
this is an opportunity for them. And the nice thing about it now is that we have not only the room and the bathrooms, kitchenette that are available up there, but it's right next to the elevator. And that was kind of a big deal for a lot of people, saying,
sure,
if we use a different room, we have to use stairs. We do have an elevator, a short elevator up to Sugar Hall from the main entrance. But again, they like the back parking and all that kind of thing. So
Okay.
this is a nice new addition, which again, was always meant to be done. But again, based on budget cuts,
Sure.
we weren't able to do it.
sure, excellent. Moving on into other roads that have had, new laterals, new sewer.
yeah.
Wacker Drive was another big project here in our city.
Yeah, Wacker Drive was a 3-year project. We first started off with redoing Wacker Drive between State Street and the railroad tracks going to the south. And that was in 2019. In 2020, we did from the bridge out to Sumner Street. And then last year, we were able to replace the bridge, which is a DOT project, so it's not a local project, it's a DOT project.
Okay.
Most bridges are Department of Transportation owned. And so they do the project, they bid it out, they do all the work on it. We have a small portion to pay for that, a small percentage of the cost. But especially if we add any special things to it. And then we did that, the bridge got done, and then we finished off with this section between the bridge and the railroad tracks to the north on Wacker. So that total project is now done. So it's kind of a cool thing. But a lot of businesses that are on Wacker Drive were inconvenienced by it, but
Sure.
that's what progress does.
Right.
Yeah.
And moving on, we talked about this 50-year improvement on the wastewater.
Yeah. So the wastewater collection system is a series of pipes, obviously. It goes from your house through the lateral down to the main, and then through gravity flows or a pump. It basically goes down into a series of pipes, and the more that it gathers, the larger the pipe. So the largest pipe we have is the interceptor. Then it goes from Wacker Drive, and it's a 44-inch pipe. It's a very large pipe. And that will take you all the way out to the industrial park, to the wastewater treatment plant. That pipe was over 50 years old, and it has about a 40-year life cycle. So we're already on borrowed time. So what we did is we actually had it relined. So what relining does is it takes like a balloon and puts it into the pipe. And then they blow it up until it sucks itself to the inside of the pipe. And then they basically freeze it there. And this lining basically will now give it another 40-year life. And it's a very, we'll call it inexpensive option versus replacing.
Sure.
Replacing would have cost about $4 million, especially for the large stretch. If you think about Wacker Drive, all the way behind all that, alongside of Walmart, and then back out to the industrial park. To replace it, again, about a $4 million project, by lining it cost us $1.9 million. So still sounds like a lot of money,
Right.
but in reality, it's a much greater savings. And again, will give us, the project takes much shorter period of time that way. And it gives us another 40 years. So I won't be here when the next one has to be done. So,
So was that coordinated with the infrastructure of Wacker Drive? Was that a coordinated?
yeah.
Okay.
It was because we had to use Wacker Drive as bypass.
Okay.
And so that's why when you were driving down Wacker Drive, you saw right in the middle of the road, there was pipes going from one to the other, which was basically pumping all of the sewage from one to the other to the bypass to get around the whole thing.
Okay.
So that's why they had a temporary pipe out there above the ground.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good to know. We also talked about the Centennial Park Bridge.
Yeah.
That just was recently replaced, and then the north wall that's going to be pushed back.
Yeah, so these projects that are going on in Centennial Park were expected to be a 3-year project. 23, 22, 21, and 20, that would count for 4 years. However, we were made aware because of DNR issues that the north wall was going to be pushed back to 21. That was because some of the money that we were getting, over $300,000, which another story for another time, but was originally supposed to be $600,000. We asked for $1.2 million, and we only got $600,000 or $800,000. But then they turned it down and went, "We'll give you $350." Well, it's free money. I guess we'll take whatever we can get.
Yeah. And for our viewers that don't know, Centennial Park is what some of us long-term residents call the Mill Pond.
Yeah.
Next to the Jack Russell Memorial Library. So
Yeah,
moving
right,
on about
right next to the post office. And anyway, so we finally got the funding taken care of through the Department of Finance at the state. And that was a delay of about 18 months. And then, so we were hoping to get the project done this fall. Unfortunately, when we had supplied the DNR with our plans for what we're going to do, the DNR was short-staffed, big surprise.
Yeah.
And anyways, couldn't get to them early enough to determine that they still had some questions about a couple of items on the plans. And so because of that, it held it off until 2022 now. So in 2022, we'll be doing the wall again, cross our fingers, the DNR finally approves our plans. And then we get that moving, sometime in like late spring, early summer, maybe even into fall. Ideally, it's best to do those projects in fall because the water level is lower. So us bypassing the mill pond to work on the wall is easier when the water level is lower. Mm-hmm. So no, it's a great project, and we're looking forward to getting it finally getting done after all this delay. At the same time, we had the bridge project, and the bridge, which was going over the mill pond at the dam, was deteriorated greatly. Yeah. Bridge structure is basically metal. Is arch metal, which had been deteriorating greatly underneath there. There was huge holes where it had rusted away. It really wasn't unsafe for pedestrians, but for my staff who are taking a lawn tractor across it to do plowing, snow blowing, that's where it might have had a little bit of an issue.
Sure.
And of course, that's not the direction we were going in anyways. So because of the safety and everything else, we said we wanted to replace that, a part of this whole project. And so we did replace it with a new bridge, which is identical to the bridges that we have in Burnt Park and also over at, we'll call it Rotary Park, kind of. It's right by Rotary Park there. Sure. So it looks identical. It's beautiful. Yes. We're very excited about it. We still have some work to do on the approaches. We'll do this in spring. Mm-hmm. But for right now, people can still use it and enjoy it. Great. Go fishing off it.
Great. And I know for improvements for our residents, we've done a major overhaul of the garbage, improvement and changing companies, and just that was a struggle, but here we are, and it's changed, and I think that people are appreciating the improvements that they're offered as amenities to being a taxpayer for the city.
Yeah, and we had great service for many, many years. We had a 10-year contract, which is pretty common for those types of businesses. And we had a great service for many, many years, then all of a sudden the company got bought out. And Waste Management bought them out. It was a big deal throughout the state of Wisconsin because Waste Management was probably the number one dog, and Advanced Disposal was number two. Okay. And so by them buying them out, especially in a horrible time right now of, again, lack of employees, it was very, very tough for them to be able to maintain the contracts that they had. And so all the communities that had Waste Management were getting killed as far as new drivers, missed routes, vehicles going down, not being able to do the service in which we're paying an enormous amount of money to do. And so we were planning at the end of this year to go out for RFP, request for proposals, for other companies to do to change over to. But because we're having such bad service and the complaints were just piling up, we finally decide in summer we need to go to RFP it now.
Okay.
And see if we can get someone to take over this community earlier. So we did that. We were very proactive in that situation because we kind of caught it when it was starting to go bad. And then when we finally did get the RFPs back, we had 3 proposals that were within a reasonable amount of each other. And the one we went with, which was the lowest price, was Greener for Life. Greener for Life is a newer company. They actually were the backbone of Advanced Disposal, who got bought out.
All right.
And so we know we had good contacts with them, great communication. They did a great service. And so we were very pleased that they were the low bidder. And so we got in a contract with them. And because we were having so many problems, we left Waste Management early. They actually started working for us in October 1st versus January 1st.
Okay.
But to do that, they all had their own carts, and they only pick up their carts.
Right.
And so we had to switch out carts, which we knew was going to happen. But picking up 1,100, 1,200 carts, and it wasn't the city. This is Waste Management's job to pick up the carts, and it was Greener for Life to drop off the new ones.
Yeah.
And orchestrating that was a complete nightmare for our Public Works Director. I think he, pulled out any hair that he had left on his head working through this. But anyways, it was an experience that, again, we're glad we only have to do once every 10 years. And but once it's all said and done, I mean, we're getting a lot of compliments.
Yes.
No one really knew how good things were until it got bad.
Okay.
And now that it's getting better again, they're like really appreciative of it. And we're getting emails and calls from people saying, hey, I just want you to know I'm glad that we changed. Thanks for fixing the problem, and we're glad, we're happy to be going with Greener for Life. So
fantastic.
Yeah.
Another thing our city offers is leaf pile removal, branches, snow along the boulevard, if you will, where they live, as well as big items. And a lot of cities will not pick up big items like a couch or a bed or things like that.
Yeah.
And you and I, before we went on camera, had talked about that it's very unique for our city to have that, to offer that to our citizens.
Yeah, most communities, if you have a big item, you just simply have to take it and go find some dump and dump it there. And hopefully you're not dumping it illegally in somebody's farmland or that kind of thing, which happens all too often, unfortunately. But no, it's a great service that we offer. It's very inexpensive. And any cost that we charge for pickup is just basically paying back what our costs are to get rid of it. So a TV set, we have to ship that out to somebody else who can then dismantle and get rid of it properly. That cost is just simply, we're a flow-through. So there is no benefit to the city. We make no money off doing this. It's just an added service that we do.
And who would our viewers call to have a larger item picked up?
Yeah, what they should do is stop on by City Hall and talk to the finance department.
Okay.
And they can get their stickers or tickets or whatever they're getting.
Okay.
And tags, I think that we kind of call them.
Sure.
And you tag the item, you put it out there, you tag the item, put it out there like right before Friday, because we do this on Fridays. And then when the guys know that they have to go around to the dress on State Street, they know to go pick up this couch, this chair, this whatever.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
We were also talking about the improvements for residents in being able to stream these meetings live and the accessibility for them, and what a great upgrade, like you said, bringing it into the 21st century.
Yeah.
How would they be able to stream these? How would they be able to see these live?
Yeah, you can go onto our website and there's a link to getting on there and basically being able to live stream. For many people, city council meetings aren't that exciting, or else we'd have a lot more people showing up at council meetings. We're always have chairs available for people to come to, and usually
Correct.
it's only my staff members and
Right.
and one officer in the back of the room, and that's pretty much it. But I still think people want to know information. That's why they watch shows like this and other things to know more about their community. And but now they, like I said, from the comfort of their home, sitting in their bed, they can get their phone out and be watching the council meeting live. What a great service that is. And even especially like if somebody's not in the area,
Right.
but they still have interest in Hartford,
Right.
or maybe they own property in Hartford and want to know more about something that's
Good
happening.
point.
They can be sitting there in Florida, on the
Right.
beach, watching a council meeting in Hartford, Wisconsin. So it's a great service that we offer. And as always, if you missed it, you can still go back on our YouTube channel. Go onto YouTube, look up the city of Hartford, Wisconsin, and you can go to our YouTube channel, and Jack has it downloaded so you can watch prior meetings. That's always really exciting. But,
Sitting on the beach in Florida.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
Exactly.
I like that. Some of the policy decisions, which will flow right into this, has been the new technology
Yeah.
that we've afforded the citizens here. So that's been a really good decision. Another policy decision that came about, and it came to fruition in the spring of 2021, is moving our rescue department to a paramedic level,
Yeah.
which is a great service to all of our surrounding communities.
Yeah. This started back in 17. Paul Stevens, the fire chief, longtime fire chief, came into my office and said, we got to do something because we're not being able to fulfill getting enough people on our paid on call. And anyways, he said, I need to increase our staffing. And I want, at the end of this 3-year period, I want to go to a paramedic level of service. And anyway, so we started ramping it up. Every year we hired an additional person, and we then went through the process of taking our employees who were interested in going to the paramedic level and going through training. Excuse me. But anyways, so that was a very long, tedious situation. Paul worked tirelessly on getting the training, because it had to be through Aurora with the technical college, the local technical college. And it was, again, there was obstacle after obstacle, but he got through them all. Again, thanks to his hard work and many others. And anyway, so we got them all trained, enough people trained to be able to pull this off. And so now, as of, I think it was May 1st, we went to 24 hours a day, paramedic level service, which is awesome because it gives our residents that next level of service that could mean the difference between life and death.
Correct.
And we're excited about that. It seems strange to say excited about that, but in reality it is. We're absolutely now in the top echelon of fire and rescue departments.
Absolutely, yeah.
And which, again, by the way, is still one of the best deal in the state of Wisconsin is Hartford Fire and Rescue. The amount of tax dollars they get is zero to minimal. And their support comes through the capital expenses, new fire truck, new ambulance, new whatever. But their operations is not on the tax roll.
Okay.
Take a look at any other department in the state of Wisconsin. This is the only one.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Fantastic.
Phenomenal deal.
Property reassessments are happening, and they should finish out by the summer of 2022.
Yeah.
Why is that happening?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's say you live in a house that has 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, modern features, quartz countertops and stainless steel appliances, everything else. Appliances really doesn't count towards it. But let's just say, again, you've got this house. The value of your house has been going up, but the assessed value has not been going up. So when you try to sell, your value is still sitting, let's just say, at $200,000. Right. But in reality, the value of it, when I compare it to the exact same house, 30 miles away, let's say in West Bend and Germantown, it should be equal. That's what they call equalized value, okay? And so when you equalize value and your assessed value fall below 10% difference or fall over 10% difference, so up plus or minus 10%, the state says you need to do a reval. You need to get yours up to the speed of everybody else, okay? So we were already below the 10% in 2020. And so we knew in 2021 we were again under the 10%, over the 10% rule. And so pretty soon the state was going to slap our hand and say, you got to do this now.
Okay.
And so we got it done. So we said, okay, let's do this. It's an expensive venture. A couple of things that people should know about revals too is a assessor has the legal right to come onto your property, walk around the property, take measurements, and they're not trespassing, okay? They are a representative of the city. When we contract with them to do this, they are representing the city. Now, some communities have their own in-house assessors.
Okay.
We contract out with Associated Appraisals, little red car or a little red truck with the logo on the side. So if you see somebody in your neighborhood and they come up to your door and they place a tag on your door, says, hi, we were here. We want you to know that we were in your neighborhood and we were on your property, measuring you up, just making sure that, and please fill out this form telling us about your property. Does your property still have 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, or have you increased and added another bedroom, another bathroom? It's important to be honest about it. And the reason I say this is because sooner or later, it's going to get found out that you've added a bathroom, but never told anybody. And then what happens is, by law, we have to go around and then assess you for that and charge you double for never getting a permit to do the work. So we tell everybody, just be smart about it. If you're obviously doing a building improvement, get your building permits, have your contractor get the building permits, and then your house will be maintained up to the code, what it's supposed to be. But so again, if you see someone coming around your yard, they got a red jacket on, they got a red vehicle, it says Associated Appraisals on the side of it, don't pull out the shotgun and think someone's robbing you. And unfortunately, we have some people who have done this. Sure. And all the assessor will say is, I'm sorry I'm bothering you. I'm just here to do a reval. It's a walk-around reval. Right. By the way, walk-arounds are different than walk-through. Walk-through is you literally have to go through, they walk through every house and right. they visually look at everything you've got. This is not a walk-through, it's a walk-around. Mm-hmm. So they can come on your property, they can walk around your yard, measure up your house, and take photos. Again, not against the law, but if you stop them from doing that, they can only assume what you have right. on your property. And sometimes assuming means they think you have more than you have. Right. You don't want to be overcharged. Right. But again, so try to welcome them, be welcoming to them. And again, if you call the police department, they're going to tell you exactly what I just told you. Right. It's legal. Right. They're supposed to be there. They're going to be there. Yeah. What would you say to our viewers that are concerned after reassessments that their taxes are going to skyrocket? That's a great question. There's a joke that goes along with this, but I say a house is assessed based on 3 things: the improvement, the house, the building, the property value, and the quality of the person who lives there. That's a joke. We don't do that. But the truth is, it's based on those 2 things. So it's the value of the property. How big is your lot? Is it a quarter lot? Is it a half-acre lot? Is it an eighth of, a third of an acre? And then the next thing is what's the house like? Okay, so is it a brand new house? Does it have quartz countertops, granite countertops, marble floors? Are you living in the Taj Mahal? Or is it the fact that, again, it's an older house? Maybe some hardwood floors, maybe some formica, whatever that would be. we know right now our number, magic number, is 14. What is 14? Currently, we are 14% below the equalized value, so our assessed value. So right now, your house is 14% less valued, assessed valued, than what the equalized value is. Exact same house, 30 miles away, it's got a 14% value better than yours.
Okay.
So we assume that when we get it back up to zero, there is no difference. Your house is equal to the person's house 30 miles away. That you're going to have an increase of about 14%. If the average of everyone in the city is 14%, which we assume it's going to be, your taxes won't go up. Because what happens is your house value goes up, but your rate goes down 14%. And is multiplied out, zero, right? No difference. However, if yours is higher than 14%, so which means yours went up a larger value than the average because you did something, you added something, whatever. Now maybe your tax is going to go up a little bit. 1%, 2%, really not going to see it. If it went up to 10% more than the average, okay, you're going to see a difference. But, so again, just because you're doing a reval and the value of your house is going up does not mean your tax is going up. And by the way, if your house doesn't go up at least 14%, more than likely your taxes are about to go down.
Okay. Good explanation.
Thank you.
Some new things that are happening for Hartford are that we had this big campaign. It's happening here in Hartford and promoting the city to any of our outside viewers that are thinking of relocating here for whatever set of reasons. And that campaign, I think, has been very fruitful in new businesses coming into the city here. And it's been a very well-received campaign.
Yeah. It was an idea that the BID, the Chamber, the Development Corporation, otherwise known as HADC, and the city said we should combine our forces when we talk about marketing the community and have a common theme. There's millions of McDonald's, but they all have the same slogan, right? We have all these organizations and groups, and they all had different slogans and that kind of thing and ideas. And so by coming together and doing this, it has really strengthened our marketing. And then we said, the problem is that most people don't know is there's so much happening here in Hartford.
Right.
In 2015, we came out with a plan to renovate the downtown. In 2016, we looked at and started working on a hotel in downtown. In 2018, we started looking at a large apartment building in downtown, the North Bookend Project, otherwise known as Rincon 225. These are all parts of that development. We expanded the parking lot, which people probably don't remember. It used to be a gravel lot.
Right.
Not that long ago.
Right.
Now it's blacktop and it's the entire block.
Right.
And the house that was there that was in disrepair is gone, and now it's a parking lot, and it was a great improvement to our downtown. I mean, everyone always complains there's not enough parking anywhere.
Right.
But what a great improvement. And so, I mean, it has added so much action in downtown Hartford that we're very excited, very, very excited about it. But the message of it's happening here is there's renovation going on in downtown. There's a new owner to the Kmart Plaza that's doing great things. There's new businesses being opened up in the industrial park. That's not just a downtown slogan, that's a whole city slogan. And now there's this huge movement to improve the athletic fields at the high school that you're going to hear a lot more about, in the coming months as they very possibly go to referendum. Okay. Again, people should know it's happening here.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
And it is.
It's a great slogan.
Yeah.
Moving on then into our spring election that will be coming up here. There's 4 alderpersons that'll be up for re-election if they choose to run, or and the mayor as well. Yeah,
it's a 1 every 3 years in which the mayor is up for re-election, and we are always eager to see people who want to serve.
Yes.
And we say serve because you're not going to get rich off this gig. An alderman makes $4,000 a year. And I've had even an alderman who just recently came on board who turned down the money. Okay. It's about serving for them. Then we have, the mayor makes $8,000 a year. So again, no one's going to be able to live off this money.
Correct.
But again, we're very thankful for the council members that we have. They work extremely well with the staff. I've been very blessed to be able to serve them. They are my boss. Anyway, so we're excited about that. But yeah, it's time for elections, and if somebody would like to be an alderman, they have to take out papers. They can get them online without even coming in.
On the city website.
On the city website, but also they can go to the state elections board.
Okay.
Get the papers, and then get 20 signatures from within their district. Okay, so they have to know where their district lines are. That's also available on our website. And go to the voting public. So in other words, someone 18 years of age or older can sign off for you. And then anyways, you bring in your papers, all the signatures. It's always smart to get about 25, 30, because just in case you've got someone who is really not in your district by mistake. Bring them in. Our clerk will review them all, making sure that you have at least the 20 legitimate ones. If you want to be mayor, it's 200 signatures that you need. And the date to start circulating was yesterday, December 1st. So December 1st through December 31st, they can circulate. And then shortly after, the first week in January is when you have to get them back in by. So the first Tuesday, I think it is, in January.
Okay, and for our viewers that are not completely familiar of City Hall, what floor are we looking at?
Yeah, so second floor, we'll call it second floor if you're on the main street. You go to the second floor, the clerk's department. It's if you look at the windows, it says administration, but the clerk's department is inside the administration offices.
Okay, great. And if there's more than 3 running for any of these positions, then we're going to have a
runoff. Yeah, primary, which would be in February, first week in February, and and we'd love to have a lot of people. You know, to be honest with you, Sally, very few people do we ever have a contended race. Usually it's the one guy who's always been there, runs unopposed.
Yeah.
And that's not us, not just us. Every city, every village, every community has this situation. And that's why people go, why don't you have term limits? Who would run if no one's running right now? That's why no communities for the most part, have term limits. I don't know of any community that does. But the fact is, we'd love to have people get interested in it and serving for the betterment of their community.
Exactly.
We hope that they don't run on a grudge, which is, I got pulled over by a cop and got a ticket, now I want to get back at them by running. Unfortunately, communities have that kind of individuals. No, I want people that first of all want to be a student of the game. This is a game that the state dictates. We just follow their rules. Everything that we do here is basically the state. And we just follow it on a local level. But you need someone who wants to learn about it and grow and understand what their limitations are, but also what their potential is to help this community grow. And we work with them, all of our aldermen, very closely. We communicate with them. We give them a weekly memo on everything that's going on. We talk with them anytime that they text, email, call. We're answering questions, helping them out. Because residents, that's their first contact. Is their elected official.
Yes.
Hey, I'm having a problem with my neighbor. I'm having a problem with this. I have a problem with whatever. They'll call their alderman. Alderman will call me, and then I will talk to the department head, whoever oversees that issue, and then get back to them. And it's kind of the hourglass figure is the organizational chart, so to speak.
And to find out who your alderperson is representing your district, again, all that information is available on the website.
Yeah, absolutely. And their phone number is there. You can call them.
Yep.
Their email is there. By the way, their email has just recently changed. It is normally first initial, last name at ci.hartford.wi.us. Because of new election rules, we had to go to at hartford.wi.gov. It had to go to a gov finish. So all of our emails have switched, but if you go to our old emails, if you send an email from our old email, it's still going to come to me.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time, Steve, to come in and let our viewers know about exciting things happening inside our city.
It's happening here
Exactly.
in Hartford.
And to our viewers that are interested in getting involved in city government, I urge you to take that step forward and get involved. And thank you, as always, for watching.